Good evening. It is March the 18th, 2017. Sorry for this late night video. I've been quite busy today, but finally getting some downtime to record this week's weekly weather briefing. And this past week we had fairly boring weather, but other than the fact that we had a couple of snow events that moved through, that was pretty exciting. We had actually three separate snow events. Some of you had four different snow events. We had one that moved through on Saturday. Then we Saturday morning, and then another one moved through on Monday morning, and then some of you had another one that came through on Tuesday morning, and I think maybe some of you had another event. I'm not quite sure. There was another couple of one other night that we did have some flurries around the area. But speaking of winter weather, I mean guys, it is March. We should be over that, and that was some very late season cold and snow that we got. Some of you in parts of southern Graves, Fulton, Hickman County, parts of Callaway picked up close to 2 and 3 inches of snowfall, isolated pockets close to 4 inches once you got into northwest Tennessee. So the Saturday morning system really did overperform in those areas, but for other areas in the Purchase area, we ended up with about an inch or less of snow. We got 7/10 of an inch at my house from that event. Woke up at 5:30 just to watch it snow outside. It was a very pretty snow because it stuck to everything. Usually if we get snow in March anywhere in the United States, it's usually going to be a wet snow because of the moisture content in the atmosphere. And usually when it's snowing in March, your temperature is hovering right around freezing, unless you just have a really cold, dry air mass moving into your area. But other than that, very, very pretty to watch it snow. And a lot of it on Monday morning didn't stick because it started after the daylight hours in parts of Graves, McCracken, Marshall, Callaway. But all of our Mississippi River counties ended up seeing that snow sticking to the grass and even the roadways on Monday morning, making for some slippery travel. I was very surprised to see some school districts holding off with closing schools on Monday because there was snow that was sticking to the roads on Monday morning. So I was very surprised that they did not cancel schools, especially in Carlisle County. They had very heavy snow moving in, while temperatures on the road surfaces were at or below freezing, and the temperatures in the air was just right above freezing. So I was very surprised to see the schools not being closed, but I was not surprised to see accumulation because we were expecting that. That was an event that wasn't really hyped up about like the Saturday event was up until about 24 hours before it moved in. So around Sunday afternoon is when the meteorologists really started to hone in on that system and say that, well, we do have the potential for snow, and I did also. Now, we don't have any snow coming for us this week. We are done with the prolonged cold and snow until next year. So if you are done with the cold and snow, if you're done with winter, just wait until next season. And but right now, just enjoy the summer, the fall, and the spring that we have to look forward to. Spring-like weather to enjoy, not too hot, not too cold. Over the next week, I'm very excited to see this kind of weather. Even though I do love winter weather, I'm okay with 60s. I really do like the 60s, especially at this time of the year when you get a good sun angle. The 60s can kind of feel cold if you walk outside in the air, but you get that high sun angle, it hits you, and that sun just really warms you up. So I do like the weather that we have to look forward to in the next week. Right now, temperatures across the area are in the upper 40s to low 50s. They are going to be dropping like a rock, continuing throughout tonight. And some of our areas just to our north and east are already in the low 40s to upper 30s. So we do have that same cold air that is drifting south and west, and it is fighting that warm air that we have that is trying to move northeast. So we're going to watch how this plays out in the morning. Some of you could dip to the freezing mark. I'm not looking at another freeze. The National Weather Service, I don't think, is either. They have not issued a freeze warning. I'm thinking low temperatures will be in the mid 30s across most of the Purchase area when you wake up tomorrow morning. A very devastating freeze did hit the area. A lot of people's orchards are devastated because of this really prolonged cold spell that we had. So that's very sad news to hear about. But the good news is that we're not looking at any more of that, especially once we get past tonight. You can't rule out a very cold air mass moving in sometime in the beginning of April. I remember last year, April 13th, I believe, was our last freeze warning, and I don't think we're going to be seeing cold air that late into the season, but I'm saying that we still do have another month of a risk, but that doesn't mean that we're going to, because really over the next couple of weeks, the pattern would favor shots of cold air, but not cold enough to be to the freezing potential. As we go throughout this week, we have a little bit of a weak system moving in on late Monday and early Tuesday. I can't rule out a couple of showers Monday afternoon, but I believe that we're not going to be looking at any showers really reaching the ground. Well, I take that back because that dry air in place is actually going to be already be moving out. So if we do see a couple of rain showers dotting radar on Monday, they could reach the ground, but it would be very light. It's mainly Tuesday afternoon that I believe that we're going to see a couple of rain showers starting the radar. And then we do have some snowflakes that are going to be hitting the ground not too far off to our north and east. We're going to have to watch this. I believe it's going to stay off to our north and east, but just in case it does drift out into our area, I do want to mention that, but I think that we are well over the cold and snow. We're going to see a little bit of a cool spell come in on the midweek, right after the midweek system. So after Tuesday, we're going to see a little bit of cooler air coming in, but not really cold air, just 50s for high temperatures on Wednesday. But by Thursday, that cold air is already back out of the area, and then we begin to see another system pushing through as a warm front comes through. At the end of this work week, we begin to see a cold front come through on Saturday. Still some timing differences in the models on when that cold front comes through. If we see an area of low pressure attached to it, then we could see some enhanced rainfall totals. So the rainfall totals are kind of in question right now also. So there are some questions when once we get towards the late week system. Here's the temperatures for this week. I'm going to try and make this briefing short as possible. As we get into Sunday, let's see, this is tomorrow, so we're already looking at those temperatures, still really around the same temperature as they were today, not really feeling much colder. I don't think we're going to be looking at a whole lot of wind tomorrow like we were today, so that might make it feel a lot warmer outside. That wind did kind of bite at you today, despite the high sun angle and temperatures right around 60 degrees. By Monday, that's going to be the peak day of the week, if you ask me. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 70s. Wouldn't be surprised if some upper 70s are reported in portions of the purchase area. And then once we get into Tuesday, those temperatures beginning to cool off as that cold front comes down. You can tell a very big temperature difference between southern Illinois and western Kentucky, 50s to mid 60s. So there is a big difference. And if that cold front decides to move through a little bit earlier before the daytime heating hour around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then we might see those high temperatures on Tuesday reach early in the day, and then temperatures falling throughout the day. But right now, I do think that those temperatures are going to reach their maximum at the normal time of the day that they should, around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Once we get to Wednesday, that will be the coolest day of the week, and that is going to be temperatures in the mid-50s across most of the area. A little bit cool outside, so by the time we get to Thursday, that cold air mass is already moving back out, and by Friday, that warm front, you can definitely tell, has lifted through the area by then with temperatures right around 70 degrees, and then Saturday, with the potential of rain in the area, the temperatures could be held down on Saturday, but that also depends on what time of the day that the cold front moves through. Temperatures on Sunday, these are very just comfortable highs, and especially if we can get some sunshine to go with this on Sunday, hopefully the clouds from the weekend system will have already moved out of here if it does move through on Saturday, and we will be looking at a beautiful Sunday on tap for the area. By next Monday, temperature is right back to 70 degrees, and by next Tuesday, we're still looking at that beautiful weather that we are hanging on to. So here's the projected rainfall totals for the weekend system, right around an inch to 2 inches as possible if we see that area of low pressure attached to the cold front and form some enhanced rainfall totals. So questions remaining to the rainfall totals and who sees the most rain, but if we do see some thunderstorms, many areas could get well over an inch of rain. So stay tuned for that part of the forecast. If there is severe weather associated with this, I will post an updated video around the end of this week, but until then, enjoy this beautiful weather that we have to look forward to. Have a great week.